No chemicals or preservatives, just 100% honest to goodness hickory smoked meat.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Boy, some chicken wings have really hit the spot.
You ain't got no better food like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
That's just two guys talking, am I right? We're just talking.
Hey, howdy, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the number one undisputed heavyweight champion barbecue. I'm forgetting all our terms. No, podcast in the Western United States.
West of the Mississippi.
West of the Mississippi. So, still undisputed. Happy to dispute it. But here we are. It's been a minute, John.
It has been. We missed last week. Sorry, everybody. Damron, I hope we didn't put anyone into a panic. Life just got away from us, and we were both busy. And by the time we had time to record, it was almost time to record this week. So,
yep. And here we are recording. Yeah, dude, it has been busy. Like
crazy busy.
I think I say this every week, but I look forward to summertime as a teacher all year. And then it comes, and I feel like I'm twice as busy and overwhelmed. And
that's
then
because you
like,
shift gears from teacher to like full-time parent.
That is true. Yeah.
And I'm, I love my kids. We all need a little space and intervention.
Dude, Whitney went into work yesterday, and she's built different, man. I can't. I love my kids so much, but I am so done at the end of the day. I'm more tired doing that than after a day of landscaping.
Yeah. No, I told Haley a long time ago, like, bar none, hands down, there's not enough money to pay me to be a stay-at-home parent.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Like, Haley could make a lot of money. That'd be fine. Like, I'd be a stay-at-home parent, but I'd need at least a nanny or two.
Yeah. And a housekeeper, and a dog walker, and
yeah, I'm just not built for it, man. That's
sure.
a different level of endurance.
It really is, man. Hats off to everybody that does.
I should have worn a hat, man. I'm just looking at the camera feed. I've got a mop, man. I need a haircut.
I love it. All natural, just the way God made you.
I know.
You know,
the wings will start to come back here in about a week, and it'll be back to middle school John. Yeah. Haley looks at it and she goes, I think she was okay with the long hair every once in a while, but now that I've got the beard too,
yeah.
If that's getting curly, I'm not trimming the beard either. Like it all just like starts to get
too much hair, huh?
It goes from being exciting and attractive to just homeless.
Homeless, man. Yep. It's a fine line, John. It's a fine line.
Hobos are us.
Indeed.
So,
John, what you been cooking?
Man, I've done a couple of things since we last talked, and I haven't taken a single dadgum picture.
I say that every time after I do something. I'm like, I took 0 pictures.
Yeah. So, couple of big cooks that I've done. One, I did pork belly burnt ends.
Yeah, I had some of those. They were great.
Yeah. You almost didn't get any.
I know. That's my bad.
Yeah. Someone's not very good at looking at their phone.
I suck at it, especially on Sunday afternoons.
I almost had Charlie call Damon.
He probably would have had better luck, honestly.
But it's super easy, right?
Yeah. So tell us the process, because I've wanted to do this, but I have yet to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. So it was half a belly at Sam's Club. Took that and just cut it into about 1.5 to 2 inch squares.
Okay. Why that size? Is that just what you do, or? That's
just what they say to do.
Yeah.
I honestly wouldn't hate it if it was a little bit smaller. Next time I do it, I may do it like right at 1 inch. Mm-hmm. And then it was a bit of a family affair, so I told everyone I bought that like big meat cutting knife.
Oh yeah.
Which is cool. It's like a big machete basically, which is fun.
Yeah.
But I had Rob. This is part of the reason I didn't take any pictures. Rob cut the meat, and he did a really good job. But an 8-year-old with a knife longer than his arm is a little.
Yeah. I'm glad you weren't just sitting behind
Yeah.
your phone like,
Yeah, a little
this is fun.
Oh, that's probably going to be bad. Should I say anything? Oh, wait, that's my kid.
Oh, shoot.
So Rob cut it, and then Clay, bless his heart, helped me with the mustard binder.
Mm-hmm.
But he loves putting on the gloves like Dad does. But my bare paws and a 5-year-old's hands are vastly different sizes, so he was having trouble keeping the gloves on. But he got the mustard all over, and then we just hit it with the rub. And I used a cherry cola rub that I picked up at Walmart.
Cherry cola. Interesting.
Yeah.
What brand?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, Walmart has started carrying more and more
Yeah, I love it.
barbecue rubs. This was just, I was like, that looks good.
I'm
Why
going to walk
not?
by and start experimenting. Heck yeah.
So we used that and then just put those chunks of pork out on the grate.
So, no, you don't mix them together yet or anything? Could you do it without a binder, do you think?
You probably could. I was in a hurry and I didn't want to wait for
Right,
the
you'd
rub
have
to
to
sweat
wait for it to sweat. Yeah, I like that.
So I threw it on there. I put them out at 225. I think next time I do it, I'd do it at 250. I don't feel like it really rendered as much as I wanted it to.
Yeah.
But did that for, it was like 2.5 hours, somewhere in there.
Okay. Are you looking for a temp, or do you just kind of go when it looks like
I just went
ish?
for a time.
Yeah.
That's what most of the recipes say to do. And then I took them, put them all in a foil pan, hit them with a little bit more rub, brown sugar, barbecue sauce, and drizzled it with the parquet. Could definitely do real butter there.
Yeah.
Parquet is just super easy.
Yeah. It's
So-
really nice to have.
And then covered that and put it back out. I turned it up that time to 275 just to try and get that the fat to render a little better. And let them go for, again, another 2.5 hours. Opened it up, checked it. I was looking for 203, but I was also just looking for that like probe tender.
Right.
It was there. I left them uncovered for about another 10 or 15 just to kind of let it tack up a little bit. There was a lot of liquid still in the pan, so I didn't really feel like it tacked up that much.
Yeah.
But pulled it out, and kids and I started going to town.
Yeah.
And they were... I don't think I would ever eat it just as a meal.
Yeah.
It'd be a great appetizer, great, kind of hors d'oeuvre type thing to start a party off with. You said you put yours in eggs.
I did. So I tried it that day, and I think you're right. Like an appetizer, for a full meal, it's a lot. But like 1 or 2 of them, delicious, very rich, very fatty. Like 1 or 2 of them goes a long way. Delicious, but you probably wouldn't want to just sit and gorge yourself on them. But yeah, I threw them in with eggs. It was just like bacon. It was really yummy. So.
Yeah. So I think they're good with eggs. I know Robbie did one on a quesadilla.
Oh.
So
yeah.
they were great. I was telling you earlier, like, I liked them. It was a cool experience. It was a fun and easy cook. Like, it was a good one to do with the kids. But, I mean, I'm not, like, in any hurry to do it again.
Yeah.
It was cool to experience like you. It's one I've always had on my list.
So this was your first time doing it?
Uh-huh.
I thought you'd done it before. Okay.
Maybe I have now that I say that. Maybe I did it a long time ago.
But long enough ago that it's not important.
Yeah,
So here's my question. Do you think if you cooked it on the Traeger, I assume.
I did.
Do you think if you cooked it on the drum, you could get some of that like fat dripping on the coals flavor
Oh,
and
yeah.
it would juice it up a little bit? Or it would start everything on fire, I guess, with the amount of fat that's in the pork belly.
I think you'd be fine. Yeah, that's funny. I saw a thing. I think it was a clip from his podcast this week, but your boy Malcolm,
Yeah, I was
How to
listening
Barbecue
to it today. That's
yeah,
what
how,
made me think
how to
about
barbecue
it.
right was talking about. They actually designed an offset, just like the Camp Chef. The new Camp Chef has that flavor drawer,
Uh-huh.
but having some live coals under the meat to get that fat and the drippings and smoke.
And he said it was all for flavor. Like,
Yeah.
it's not really doing a lot of heat. All the heat comes from the firebox, but it was all the flavor. That might be worth trying. Interesting.
Yeah, I'd give it another run for that.
Yeah.
I also think the drum cooks a little hotter and faster.
Right. So maybe it would render a little better.
Yeah.
I like that. And going a little smaller, maybe.
I'd give it a run.
I think I might try it one day.
Yeah.
Been saying that for months, but
So, the other thing that I cooked, and this was both a fun and frustrating one.
okay.
We did surf and turf.
Oh, okay.
I've had a hankering for lobster for a while, and I've also been wanting to do a beef tenderloin.
Okay.
So, we bought some lobster tails, got a beef tenderloin. I ended up cutting the tenderloin into steak, so little filet mignons.
Okay. Where did you get these?
Costco. All of
Okay.
it came from Costco.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't super cheap. My aunt was in town, so there were 10 of us eating. So I bought 9 lobster tails. They come in packs of 3. I probably could have gotten by with 6, but
You never
I went
don't want
overboard.
to have enough.
And then the tenderloin was about $100. It was 93, 94, something like that.
How big is the tenderloin? That's
So this one
Price.
I think it was 7 pounds.
okay.
But I got 10 steaks out of it, plus some trim for the grind.
Okay.
So it's expensive, but I would challenge anybody to go out and have a steak dinner with or without the lobster for 10 people and keep it under $200.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, my boys ate their steaks like they...
Yeah.
So... But the hard part was that we did it on Saturday, and it was like kind of stormy and blowing hard, and so
Rained for the first time in like 4 months.
yeah.
Yeah.
My dad's grill, the lid, I've got to put a gasket or something on it. His Traeger doesn't seal up really well,
Interesting.
so it was hard to hold heat. So the lobster tails, you're supposed to be able to put them out at like 425 for 15 minutes and they're done. And I couldn't get it over 350. So those took like 35, 40 minutes. My steaks, my plan was to just reverse sear them, throw them in the Traeger at that like 400 for about 8 minutes, and then sear them on the gas grill.
Okay.
I had them out there for about 15, and they were nowhere near where I wanted, so I just moved over and did like a more traditional grill on those. So it was super frustrating in that it took so long to get everything cooked, and the timing didn't work the way I expected it to. But man, I'm telling you, I am a diehard ribeye guy. Like I don't even think about it. Like I go to get a steak, nope, just give me a ribeye.
That's how I am. I ribeye all the way.
Like I love it. This filet was so tender,
Really.
like cut it with a fork, man. And the guy cooking them did a really good job, if I do say so myself.
Nailed it.
Like perfect medium rare, cut into it. Used a Chicago steak seasoning from Weber.
Chicago steak seasoning.
Yeah,
Interesting.
And it was a fantastic steak. The lobster was on point. It was a great meal.
Yummy.
So those are the 2 big cooks that I've done and really enjoyed. I will do the tenderloin again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that your first time doing it?
The first time, buying a tenderloin and breaking it down. Jess Pryles at Hardcore Carnivore on her Instagram has a really good video about breaking down a tenderloin.
Okay.
Because there's kind of, when you buy the tenderloin, there's 2 or 3 muscles there that kind of come together. So you've got to trim it and separate it. So I had seen that, but I'd never broken a tenderloin down before.
Nice.
Probably one of the easier cuts to break down, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of just light sinew that you can
Yeah, I was
grab
gonna say,
them and
not
pull
a ton
it
of
apart.
fat.
and-
It's got to be.
So,
I don't think I've ever had a filet mignon.
dude, we got to fix that.
I mean, here's the story. You go, I mean, in my mind, Texas Roadhouse is the steakhouse that I go to. And you can get a 6-ounce filet mignon for more than I get a 12-ounce ribeye. And so to me, that's no brainer.
Yeah.
But somebody that I went to Texas with once, he got the filet mignon. He's like, dude, it's so good though. It's totally worth it. So
Yeah,
I just haven't been able to pull the trigger.
well, maybe we'll get some. We'll just grill them up at the house.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
be down.
it was way good. So I think the filet will be a repeat. And my kids did okay with the lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did as well as they did better than I expected them to.
Nice.
So I was pretty proud about that.
Right on.
What about you? You been cooking anything? or-
I've done some things. So we went up to Lava Hot Springs. We would go with my family every year, and we took our pizza oven. So we did pizzas for
Nice.
everybody. We had a pretty good little system going. My parents were supposed to bring theirs, and my dad forgot it. It was a huge to-do. They fought about it. It got awkward for a second, but anyway, one actually turned out to be enough because we had a pretty good assembly line. In our minds, when we got the pizza oven, we were thinking, everybody come together at the table and put what you want on it and then get... And I think that might work if there weren't so many little kids. So we had my brother and his wife he was rolling out the dough. She was putting the toppings on. I was throwing it in the oven.
Nice.
We had a pretty good little assembly line going, so it worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
So that was good. He did a homemade dough, which I thought was phenomenal. We've really only tried it a couple of times just with our family. And the one time we did just Pillsbury out of a can. And it was okay, but,
Yeah,
definitely wasn't as good.
That stuff's sticky too.
Yeah, it's hard. Exactly.
It's hard
It
to
kept
work with.
sticking. We used cornmeal instead of, usually we've just been using flour. I think cornmeal's the way to go. Yeah, I think that is it. And then Whitney went down to her sister's in St. George. So one night, me and the boys had baby back ribs, which was good.
Nice.
Big fan. Nothing special. Although I did, after talking with you, I took a can of cherry Coke because it was in the garage and put half of it in one and half in the other. And then I had a black cherry chipotle barbecue sauce from Kinder that I kind of just threw on. Whitney got it for me. I think it was on clearance or something. And so threw a little bit of that on. I'm excited to try that on more stuff because I think it's an intriguing mixture. But I just kind of mixed it with the drippings and glazed it. It turned out pretty good, but I was trying to rush it because we were trying to get to the trash car races that night. So I rushed it a little too fast, and it was still good. It was probably more competition tender, but I like the fall off the bone, as my kids do too. So, and then we also did tri-tip one night, and I just did that on the Weber. I always reverse sear it, but this time I just did traditional sear both sides and move it over to the cool side and let it come up to temp. It was pretty good. Those are probably the big ones.
Nice.
Kind of experimented a little, but
I love tri-tip, man.
dude, I'm a big fan. I really like it. And in my mind, for some reason, it used to be cheaper because it's pretty, it's not a cheap cut of meat, but I really like it.
Yeah, it's $8 or $9 a pound.
Yeah. But it's fun.
Nice.
It's good.
Good, man.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I'm getting caught up on your life and everything. That's
I know.
happening.
It's probably been 3 weeks because we double recorded on the last one. It's probably been 3 weeks since we've really
it's been a minute.
spent some time together.
So
'Tis the season.
'tis that, my friend. You know what season it also is?
Heyo.
The Olympic season.
USA. USA.
Are the Olympics a big deal at your house?
Yeah, we get pretty into them. The kids really... We've got Peacock. It's been pretty nice to just watch Gold Zone or whatever, and it just goes through all the important things. So, yeah.
What's the favorite?
Pretty into gymnastics. Kyle likes gymnastics. Whitney likes gymnastics. Hallie likes gymnastics. I think we all like gymnastics. It's pretty fun. Swimming, obviously, can be a big rush. I got kind of into women's rugby there for a second.
Dude, how cool was
holy
that?
Cow, that was awesome.
Yeah, I learned all about how you score and the
Yeah,
different things.
yeah, exactly. I like it. I like that sevens. I've watched traditional rugby, and I think I could get into it, but there's so much going on. The sevens, I feel like I can kind of follow. And okay, we're doing this now. But
Yeah, I went to one rugby like scrimmage practice, whatever it is at USU, and I was like, nope.
we were probably at the same one because I did the same thing.
This is not for me. Respect you guys. This is super cool. I will come cheer you on. I am not playing this game.
I was like, this is fun, but it's reminding me of how much I hated like football practice. I was so hot. I was so tired. I was like, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah, I was not athletic enough for that.
Mad respect for the rugby players, though. And the women, like, shout out. That was awesome. So,
Yeah.
Anywho.
Yeah. Well, with that, we're big into the Olympics too, but thought we could have a little bit of fun today and do our own little competition.
I'm excited about this. I think it's going to turn out real nice.
So earlier today, Mike and I were talking. We have, and let me cut over to this for those on YouTube. Those who aren't on YouTube ought to get on YouTube. We're still trying to get to 100 subscribers there.
We can do it. We got 7 right now, so
Yeah.
just kidding.
So we've got our own little tournament. Mike and I each picked 4 different barbecue dishes and put them into a bracket. So I let the computer sort these. I put them all in, and
I was going to say, did you rank these? Or
I didn't
just
rank
did
them.
It and
I
then,
hit the sort 5 or 6 times, and
I like it.
this is where we're at.
Yeah, I support it.
So, brought to us by our good friends at brackethq.com.
I didn't know that existed, but
Neither
it's awesome.
did I. I Googled it today, and it came up.
Yeah.
We've got here are our contenders, and let's see if I can do this in order. So our number 1 seed are beef ribs. Number 2, pulled pork. Number 3, mac and cheese. Number 4, Dutch oven potatoes. Number 5 is brisket. 6, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
Chili's.
Baby back ribs.
Barbecue sauce.
Thank you. Thought we were gonna leave it there and not say it.
I know.
Our 7 seed chicken wings. It's a broad category there.
Yeah, that's true.
And then our 8 seed is tri-tip.
Yeah.
So thought is we will go through these, talk about which would win, and then we'll promote one to the next round and go through it.
And I like this because we're only comparing 2 things at a time. So it's got a chance based on who it's matched up with. And if you're unfamiliar with brackets, you always go 1st seed, 8th seed. None of that really matters because it's just a random seed. But we're going to start off with beef ribs versus tri-tip.
Which I kind of hate.
Yeah, that sucks. I was just thinking that same thing.
Like,
Rude.
man, talk about a crappy pairing. Like, 2 that you could see in the championship together,
Yeah.
and we're going to knock one of them out right here.
Seriously. Now, we didn't really talk about criteria, which I think is going to be kind of the fun part, because we could be, it could be how good they taste, how easy they are,
Yeah,
how accessible they are,
Yeah, and I'm just going, I don't know what the criteria is here.
Yeah.
Like, I think it is.
I think that'll be part of the fun, that's kind of debating what we think based on different things.
Because beef ribs, I don't know there is anything that has a richer flavor, like more like full palate experience than beef ribs do.
Beef ribs are pretty dang good.
Like they're so good.
Now, let me be ignorant for a second.
Okay.
Ignorant. Is there a difference, and are we differentiating between short ribs and like dino ribs or like the big plate? Is it the same cut of meat?
It's the same cut. It's just short ribs are a segment of those.
Just cut differently.
In my mind,
Gotcha.
I'm thinking dino ribs.
Gotcha. Me too. Okay.
Like like big plate ribs.
But even if we weren't, it's the same cut.
It's the same thing, yeah.
Just smaller.
Just
Okay.
smaller.
Now listen, I love tri-tip. We just talked about this. I feel like it's easy. I feel like it's delicious. It's versatile. You can cook it like a brisket, or you can cook it, to
You can
like
do it like a
medium
steak.
rare.
You
Yeah.
can do sandwiches with it.
Oh
it's
yeah,
amazing
sliced
on
thin,
salads.
so good. I've seen people use like a chimichurri on it, so you can
Yeah.
do all. There's all kinds of versatile things you can do with it.
Yeah, and you're right. Like, it's an easy preparation. You can do a tri-tip in an hour and a half.
That's one of my favorite things because beef ribs are kind of a commitment,
Dude,
right? We're talking like brisket style cook.
a 9-pound rack of beef ribs went for 14 hours last time I did it. Like, it was almost a brisket length cook, and it
Yeah.
was half the size. But it was, they were so good.
They were good. I had some of those.
Yeah,
This sucks. Like you said, these could be champions. But the frickin' computer, which I love that we can just blame the computer.
yeah. Now, I've got to give it to the beef ribs.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I can get on board. I love the beef ribs, but the tri-tip is so... I love the 2-hour or under cook time, honestly.
That's
That's what
too.
sounded really good just because summer's so busy.
Here's where
I
I'm
like
going to
that.
push on. These are the BBQ Olympics.
Yeah.
Like, when you think barbecue, just like stereotypical barbecue, low, slow, which one wins?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I guess I'm on board with the beef ribs.
Look,
But
try to.
I don't like it. All
Hey,
right?
You know what? We had this conversation tonight. So it is.
This is like Simone Biles versus Suni Lee round 1. It's not fair.
Yeah, like we just watched the finals for the 1500 freestyle.
Oh, yeah.
Katie Ledecky freaking destroyed.
Didn't she win by
everybody.
like 17 seconds or
Yeah,
something?
it was massive. Like, she almost had a minute on the person that finished in 8th.
Jeez.
And my kids were like, "Oh, look how slow that person." I was like, "Guys, these are the 8 best people in the entire world.
Yeah.
Like, they are so good. Like, that lady that finished 8th, like, she could swim. Like, that probably would have been like 3 laps for you."
I've seen so many reels of like people that are like, it's Olympic time, you know what that means? And they're like watching these incredible world class
Eating potato
athletes.
chips on the couch.
It's like, you suck. Like, it's really funny. Anyway, beef
So-
ribs it is.
So, this is not putting tri-tip down.
No, definitely not.
No.
I love you, tri-tip.
Like, it's awesome.
All right.
All right.
Next we have number 5 brisket versus number 4 Dutch oven potatoes. This is tough. Now, part of me is thinking that we're assembling a meal here, which we're not. But I think beef ribs are very similar to brisket.
Yeah. But we have to just go in the seed.
You're right.
Like,
You're right. You're right. We gotta. Yeah. I mean,
and I love potatoes.
yeah. I'm an Idaho boy, so I'm gonna have a really hard time getting
Cheese.
off of the Dutch oven potatoes.
Cheese, bacon,
Oh.
some crispy onions in there too.
Oh yeah, dude. Caramelized onions. My buddy puts kielbasa sausage in. So good.
See, and I can get on board with Dutch oven potatoes because I love brisket,
Yeah.
and brisket is like stereotype barbecue, like
Mm-hmm.
we just said.
Yeah, that's true. Like, if we're going off the criteria, we went with beef ribs over tri-tip.
But on the same hand, like, it's kind of a one-trick pony.
Yeah,
Like, brisket's got one game.
that's true. Dutch oven goes with anything.
Yeah.
That's true. I got to go with Dutch oven potatoes on this one.
I'll give it to you.
I love brisket. Don't get me wrong. Like you said, we are not putting you down, brisket.
Look, I do love brisket,
Yeah,
but I probably like potatoes better than brisket.
yeah,
If that doesn't make somebody at us,
yeah. Get
Nothing
after
will.
it. Get after it.
we
We'd
just
love to hear
shut
from
brisket
you.
down. Dutch oven
We
potatoes.
should post a
advances.
screenshot of our final bracket and just see how pissed off people get. Because I'm sure we're going to offend some people. But
Okay.
all right.
Here's another one where I could get controversial, man.
Oh, shoot.
Mac and cheese v. baby back ribs.
Listen, this is a tough one.
This is like so hard.
I feel like baby back ribs. I have like ownership in baby back ribs. They were my first barbecue attempt. They are what I have done the most of. They are incredible. They are versatile. My wife would cross heaven and earth for some good mac and cheese. So I'm having a heck of a time trying to decide here.
Like, dude, I'm right there with you. Like, the first thing I ever cooked on my Weber kettle were Jamie Provence at Weber, his recipe for Texas crutch ribs. Mm-hmm. Love them.
They're easy. They're a good learning thing. I feel like they're relatively forgiving unless you mess something
They're
up.
the reason I got into barbecue. Like,
Yeah,
my dad, as a
exactly.
kid, always talked about wanting to learn how to make awesome ribs.
Yeah.
Like, that was, he talked about it, and like, I wanted to do that for him. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted to figure that out. But dude, I could eat mac and cheese, and Haley's got a awesome recipe.
Yeah.
Which, man, if someone needs a mac and cheese recipe, I've given it out before, so like it's
She doesn't guard it, huh?
well, she does, but I conned her out of it for. Nice. We did something on here early on where I said, "Hey, if you comment,
Oh.
I'll give you the recipe."
Right on.
That I could be talked into giving it out again.
Now, I don't love straight up mac and cheese, but I was talking to my neighbors. The Stouts are moving, by the way. Very sad.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to them the other day, and they said they'll do mac and cheese, like just make it like in the Instant Pot, and then Stuart will take it out and smoke it once it's all done, and then they'll throw in, like they've got all kinds of toppings, bacon or, shoot, now I can't remember all the good ones that they said, but like caramelized onions or onion crisp or whatever. I could get on board with that. Straight up mac and cheese doesn't do it for me. Like, it's fine. I'll eat it. I don't get very excited about it.
So, we smoke ours. It's got breadcrumbs on top of it. But
Now, do you put it in like noodles not done yet?
No, you cook the noodles.
You got to
first.
cook the noodles first. Okay.
Yeah, this like nonsense of putting raw noodles out on a grill.
Yeah, with a brick of cheese in the middle.
Hard no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but lobster mac, dude. Oh my gosh. If you like lobster, we could talk.
See, I'm all about chili mac. Like, I'll throw a can of chili in there. I'll eat that all day.
I love mac and cheese, but I don't know that I can pass on
I feel the same
baby
way.
back ribs in the BBQ Olympics.
Like I said, I get jealous when other people talk about they like baby back ribs. I'm like, no, baby back ribs are mine. You have no idea. You know what I mean? I got to go with baby back ribs.
Okay. I'm supportive. All right. This may be the easiest one for me.
I think I'm in the same boat.
Chicken wings and pulled pork. Like, look, I love chicken wings. You can't have a conversation about barbecue and not have a conversation about pulled pork.
That's true. I think there's a lot of things you can do with chicken wings. There's all kinds of different sauces, different rubs. You can smoke them, you can grill them, you can fry them. I like that. Pulled pork, though, I mean, it's like OG barbecue.
I was going to say, we don't even need to really talk about that,
No,
do
we
we?
don't. No disrespect to chicken wings, but it's got to be pulled pork. Yeah. All right. This is where it's going to get a little tricky, John.
Now we're going to go back up.
So now we're at beef ribs versus Dutch oven potatoes. Round 2.
Semifinals.
Fight! For all the same reasons that I took Dutch oven potatoes over brisket, I think I have to take Dutch oven potatoes over beef ribs. Thoughts?
I like like we had this conversation, right?
Yeah.
Like I love Dutch oven potatoes. Dude, when I like dream about the perfect barbecue meal, like beef ribs are in the picture. Like if someone were to ask me like, No effort, no anything. Like, just wave your wand, and you're getting a barbecue meal. There are beef ribs on
You
the
gotta
plate.
take beef ribs, huh? I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time getting away from potato. I mean, when this was going up against brisket, we said it's kind of a one-trick pony. Beef ribs are beef ribs. Like, it's awesome. It's delicious. You can do so much more with Dutch oven potatoes, and I go with so much more.
But if you only do one thing really, really well, you don't have to do anything else.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose. The only reason why I could go with beef ribs is if we're talking straight up barbecue, which I think we are, smoking, it's got to go beef ribs. Because Dutch oven potatoes, I mean, I love them, but you could cook them in an oven, you could cook them in the
Well, and
Yeah.
you can do barbecue ribs or you could do beef ribs in the oven. You could do them in
Yeah,
you could
that's
braise
true.
them. You
That's
could pressure
true.
cook them. Like, you could do all sorts of things. But I would argue 4 out of 5 dentists, when asked, when served Dutch oven potatoes and beef ribs, said, "How was your meal?" The first thing they would say is, "Oh my gosh, the beef ribs were so good."
That's a good point. If
Like-
you were putting them on the plate together, what would be the star of the show?
Would they bring up the potatoes in the conversation? Absolutely. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not, but the beef ribs are going to be the first thing out of their mouth.
I think when you put it that way, that's a good point. I love Dutch oven potatoes. I love the versatility. If you put them both on a plate, the ribs are the star of the show.
Yeah.
For sure.
Going back though, I still think we made the right decision because I could brisket and potatoes. I might talk about the potatoes first.
Yeah, sure. No disrespect to brisket, but
Yeah.
All right, baby back ribs versus pulled pork, John. I'm going to say the exact same thing. For all the reasons why I picked baby back ribs in the first place, I think I've got to take them over pulled pork. I like pulled pork, and I think that all good barbecue has to be, like, you have to talk about pulled pork. It feeds a lot of people. It's more accessible. It's pretty forgiving. But baby back ribs are my baby, man.
I'm not even going to argue. Like, we're just going to mark this.
Yeah.
Like, baby back ribs are there. I think there's pulled pork, super versatile.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can do anything.
You can
with
do
it.
all sorts of things. I think it's a better leftover.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, ribs left over aren't very good.
But-
if we were doing a leftovers conversation,
I
that's
think
different.
baby back ribs, one, take more skill to produce,
Mm-hmm.
which I think it gives them value in this conversation.
Sure.
I also think they're more flavorful.
Yeah. I think so too. Pulled pork can be, I mean, you put a lot into it,
Yeah.
but I think that the ribs are tastier.
Yeah.
Just the meat part is tastier.
And as
than
a
pulled
barbecue guy who does some catering, dude, I do a ton of pulled pork. Like, I don't want to hurt pulled pork's feeling, but I get kind of bored of it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like, I just cook and cook and cook, and
Yeah, I'm on
Yeah.
board. I support it.
so this might be the most
That's, yeah.
controversial topic of the night.
Beef ribs versus baby back ribs
In
for
the,
the championship.
in the championship round.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Oh.
This is tough. I personally am going to have a really hard time getting off the baby back ribs chain. For the same reasons. I love them. They are my baby. They're what I learned on. They're what I've done the most. No disrespect to beef ribs. I've only had them a few times. They're delicious. I don't have enough information to... I have a small enough sample size that I can't put it over my favorite,
Yeah.
you know?
So, and I think I'm going to go baby back ribs too.
Yeah?
And like I said, my dream meal includes beef ribs.
Yeah.
That is the star of the show in my very decadent, opulent, high-end barbecue restaurant meal.
Sure.
I go to Terry Black's, I'm getting the beef ribs. Love the stuff. Salt Lick, I'm getting the beef ribs. I go to Franklin's, I'm getting the brisket. The man's the father of brisket. But,
Right. You have to.
I think baby back ribs are more popular, more familiar, and there is something about the way you can get like a brown sugar molasses flavor on them
Yes, sir.
that beef just doesn't carry.
Yeah. I think that you can do some delicious stuff with baby back ribs. And I'm sure you can do it with beef ribs, but I feel like beef ribs, the beef is... That's what you want to taste. Baby back
Yep.
ribs, you can throw some other stuff in.
Wrong button. Here we go, Mike.
Listen, we're going to post this. Take a look at our screenshot on Instagram. Instagram?
Instagram, I'm going to send this to you
Okay.
so that you can get it out there.
Check out Instagram. Look at our bracket. Tell us what you think about it. If you disagree, that's fine. But leave a comment. Tell us what you would do different. We'd love to hear from you for reals, because it will be a lot more fun if we can come back next week and be like, dude, we screwed up.
Like people were pissed.
People are so upset right now.
Yeah, hey, look, we didn't pick mac and cheese over baby back ribs. And I think that could have we could have lost some followers.
That's true. I would have lost myself if we did that.
So hopefully that comes through. Mike can get it posted.
Yep.
But,
Can do.
Yeah. Man, I want some ribs now.
Me too, man.
It's 10 o'clock. If we start them now,
Depends on how you do it, man.
I think you could be dirty and have you ever pressure cooked ribs?
No.
I've done it once or twice where you pressure cook them. I don't even remember how long, but you pressure cook them and then you put them out on the Traeger for 45 minutes to sauce and seal them. No smoke flavor at all. All you're eating is barbecue sauce and rub. But they're ribs and they're tender. They're better than what you get on a McRib.
Sure.
But yeah, man. We should do this again with fast food barbecue.
I agree. This could be kind of fun. You can do this with everything. I love brackets.
Brackets are so much fun.
I have some friends that do brackets for naming their kid, and it's pretty fun to watch them. They just will post each round of every week or whatever. It's
We talked about doing double elimination on this.
Yeah. That could have gotten crazy.
That could have gotten a little.
Might have lasted a few hours.
Yeah, I mean we're about 40 minutes into this. I don't know. We would have held everyone through another.
People have to listen to this, John.
Hey, are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Yeah. Oh shoot!
Speaking of which, I went and saw Twister this week.
Dude, me too. We took all our kids.
Did you?
Yeah, they loved it. I was a little nervous, but it was actually pretty clean.
So the original Twister came out when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in the Midwest.
Oh yeah.
It gave me nightmares.
Did it really?
Oh, it was the most scary thing in the world.
See, we went and saw it, and then we got that thunderstorm. My kids were like, "This is just how it started." We were like, "Mountains, guys, we're good. We're good."
Yeah. No, we had a funnel cloud go over the top of our house when I was a kid. And it didn't really portray it in the movie, but the sky turns this eerie color of green.
Yeah.
You saw it when you were in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I remember that. I was freaking out. My companion was from Oklahoma, and he was like, "Dude, this is nothing."
Yeah.
I was like, "Dude, we're gonna die." He's like, "No,
Yeah,
this is fine. This is slow Tuesday."
Yeah. Every Tuesday the sirens go off to test them. So as a child I was terrified.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, you know what, guys, Mom and Dad are gonna go see it and see how it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
I've got no problem. I think I'll take Robbie to go see it.
It's a fun show. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, and it brought some comedy and levity to it.
Yeah,
That,
it's kind of
right
fun.
when it was starting to get real scary, you'd be like,
yeah,
that guy's a hoot.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how I got onto that, but
All right.
It was a good time this week.
Yep. On that note,
Until next time, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
We're Fat Guys with Smokers. Thanks for listening to the Fat Guys with Smokers podcast. Be sure to check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't forget to tune in for even more nonsense from a couple of Fat Guys with Smokers.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.